Hello everyone, welcome to this week's Investment Trends as we discuss the latest news in the stock market and the economy. So for this week on Monday, the stock market started off with a bang as over the weekend, US and Chinese officials agreed to a 90-day truce on tariffs. So what this means is it sounds like the trade war that we've seen so far has been de-escalated slightly, and both sides could potentially come to an agreement here over these next 90 days. Stock market reacted very favorably to that with a tech-led rally, and so far this week, all three major indexes are up once again. Futures are up slightly on Friday morning. So for this week, the S&P 500 was up 4.5%, the Dow gained 2.6%, and the Nasdaq led all three major indexes with a return of over 6% this week. Also in the news this week, we received the Consumer Price Index report, which is an inflation reading, and the reading came in at 2.3%. This was right at expectations, and this is also good news because this is the lowest inflation reading we've seen since February of 2021. That also led to a little bit of rally in the market as investors started to gain more confidence in what we're seeing in the economy and potentially with these trade negotiations. However, later on in the week, there was a little bit of uncertainty as Thursday morning, Walmart announced that they will start to implement price increases due to the tariffs. So we could see these price increases starting later on this month, in the month of May, and even more increases coming later in June. They stated these increases could cause an effect on grocery items, a lot of items coming from South America, such as coffee, such as avocados, due to the tariffs. So they're trying to mitigate the risk and mitigate the price increases as much as they can by going back to their suppliers and asking them for price decreases. However, we could expect to see in stores some price increases starting to hit consumers. Also in the news this week, one of the Dow Jones stocks, UnitedHealth Group, has seen a massive decline in their stock price. So a lot of this started after their CEO was murdered. They have seen since their stock price has been cut in half since that time. Earlier this week, their acting CEO stepped down, and former CEO Stephen Hemsley has returned to start to run the company again. One of the things that the stock price has seen major headwinds, one, there is now an open investigation by the DOJ into Medicare fraud, and two, the government has announced that they could potentially start to cut some of their Medicare funding. So that stock is down, like I said, very sharply this year. Could be an opportunity depending on what some of the results are of the Medicare funding and what comes out due to this investigation. Could be an opportunity to potentially look to buy this stock. It pays a healthy dividend. Could be a good time to get some value from that. Also in the news this week, Dick's Sporting Goods announced that they plan to acquire Foot Locker. So for you shoe people out there, this could be a major deal for Dick's Sporting Goods, even though they saw their share price drop pretty significantly after that announcement. This is something that Dick's could be doing as a long-term strategy, could be good overall in the long term for Dick's Sporting Goods. If there's any other items that you have, any stocks that you've been watching, leave a comment below.